Jesse Marshall tweeted last night, and Jesse said, "This is Adam's porn." He said, Jarry has got to be jettisoned. That should be priority one right now. The contract was an albatross the moment pen went to paper. He cannot tend this net beyond this season. And I want to say, because I fucking told you so, that it was bad the second it was signed. I fucking told you so. Now,
Adam,
I get a message from
Adam.
You're
going to get us banned in Florida. You're going to get us banned in Florida,
Let me finish. Just context. Tell the people what the contract was. When it was signed.
$5.375 million, 5 years. We're in year 2. Now, I think the stat is, correct me, Pens fans, the stat is that Jarry has given up a goal on the first shot of the game at minimum 5 times this year. Last night,
oh wow,
he gave up a shot, and this is according to our good friend Cassie, who we love. Shout out Cassie. She said she vented her frustration to me.
Hit me.
She said, "Oh, did you see the game tonight?" And I was like, "No, I was watching the league game." And she said, "It was shot 2 tonight.
Hey!
And it was a shorthanded goal." Oh. And this morning, Josh Yohe, who's the athletic reporter for the Penguins, from what I'm hearing, the Penguins organization has reached a breaking point with Tristan Jarry. Now, here's what I can tell you. Mm-hmm. The Penguins also reached a breaking point with Tristan Jarry against the Islanders last year when the Penguins blew the game and he didn't play the last 13 and they fell out of the playoffs.
The difference is there was a while there where A, he played well, and B, the games didn't mean anything. And then
they made a charge.
Well, then they crept back into the playoff picture, and now all of a sudden the loss has become a lot more frustrating.
And Malkin said he's frustrated with the team's play as of last night. And Crosby got cross-checked in the back by Adam Larson.
That was a bad one.
And swore and went off the ice, and there was no call, obviously.
Cross-checking's allowed.
Let's cross-check our star players, specifically one of the best players of all time.
Did you see the Jarry goal, by the way?
It's bad.
Have you watched it back?
Yes.
Oh, the shorty! I did see this.
The short-handed goal. You can describe it for the people.
So Joey Decord picks up an assist. Hell yeah!
Yeah.
It's a 2-on-1 the other way that actually the Penguins negate. So it's just a straight up 2-on-2.
Sure. It's what's essentially happening here. It's Chandler Stevenson 1-on-1 with the goaltender.
Can we at least throw that freeze frame up? Can we throw that freeze frame up?
Yeah, kind of.
No. Because you're just watching this right now and you're saying like no. What unfolds here? Matt, you can leave it up there. What unfolds here, because there's another man coming with the 2-on-1, is that it is essentially Chandler Stevenson just taking a shot on Tristan Jarry is how it is going to unfold.
Which is crazy.
And you can't play this. This is how it unfolds for the people.
So we're watching it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it just goes through them. It just goes through them.
We'll get a good pause on that. We can even do a stop and go just so the people watching on YouTube can watch this. But no, I went a little too far on the stop. There we go. So Stevenson,
he shoots from pretty far.
And nice bend on that.
He's at the top of the face-off giant circle. So not the dot. He's at the top of the big part of the circle. And he just takes a wrist shot. Wrist shot simply on Jarry, it's blocker side, and what happens is he lets it just go right through him. It hits him on like the side part of the blocker, and it just goes right through him into the back of the net.
And you are
it's embarrassing.
2 minutes, less than
2 minutes, 12 seconds.
2:02, the goal happens, I think.
The whole building goes, yeah. Dude, look at the front rows.
Oh, yeah. Also,
no one's even in their seat.
Empty. 3/4 building empty.
Have you guys, I think it's interesting because at the beginning of the season, the big chat was about the Penguins and their lack of attendance. Isn't it funny how that story's just gone away?
I don't know.
I think that's interesting because I think
I don't really remember it.
Because I think the Penguins stopped. I could be wrong on this, but from what I might be deducing is they're not announcing it anymore. And because the Penguins used to sell out every game right up until last season, and rightfully so. It's the Crosby era. It's the Malkin era. So here's the question becomes, okay, so if this is the real breaking point, what I was told personally is the Penguins lost confidence in Jarry, lost trust in Jarry in that Islanders game last season. And every Penguins fan that listens to this show knows what the game I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. That ended it. But then this year, they're like, well, we don't have a choice because Kyle likes to spend right to the cap before the team ever hits the ice. It happened here in Toronto. Ask us about trying to sign Matthew Nyes and having to sign an emergency backup just to do it. It happened. Mm-hmm. And he can't move any players, can't move the Graves deal, can't move the Jarry deal. Wow, it's so great. Who did he trade with at the Rangers? It was Riley Smith. Mm-hmm. I was able to, I could move. You know what? I'll bring in Kevin Hayes. That's my big move because he can't do anything.
I'll give Kyle Dubas this. He never treated anyone like they had an imaginary no trade clause.
Kind of did.
No, but he would just give them literal ones so they were impossible to move.
Or too much money and they were impossible to move.
Or both.
What I am looking at here is a team that can do nothing. Okay, you've reached the breaking point. Okay, send him down. Send him down again this year. Send him down again.
Again.
And it's Bloomquist time. That's great. What else? What are you going to do? You got 3 more years, guys. And listen, I don't think that Tristan Jarry at $2.5 million as a backup somewhere is a horrible idea. Who are you going to get to bite on that?
So, when you set him down, how much does the cap hit?
Isn't it still $4.5 million?
I have no idea.
Because don't you get 1.3? It's like whatever Ryan Reeves' salary is. That's what you get for putting a player down in the AHL, assuming they clear waivers. Right? That's the cap relief you get. It's like 1.35 million or something like that.
So no, I was just thinking like, okay, you send him down forever. Does that fix things? You know? Do you get enough cap relief where it's fine? No.
Okay. There's only a few situations I think you can even really look at, because you got a goalie who makes over $5 million who's bad. All right, how many of those are in the league?
Not a lot.
So I'm looking at Columbus. Mm-hmm. Daniil Tarasov has a 4-6-1 record, which is a miracle that he has 4 wins because he is an 8.62. That's not an NHL goalie. Elvis Merzlikins is the dude making over 5. He's an 8.89, which is poor and below league average. He's still got a record of 15-10-3.
Yep.
Columbus is in the hunt. I don't know if they do it. Okay. Well, for me, the one that I keep bringing up, you look at the Seattle Kraken. They are, I think, a clear-cut playoff team with Joey Daccord in net, and not even sort of in the conversation with Philip Grubauer.
Do you do a swap for change of scenery?
What do you do? What do you do if you have either of those goalies, other than hope a change of scenery fixes it?
Well, I would say that Ron Francis is embattled. If there's a hot seat to be had that no one's talking about, it's Ron Francis.
Well, they're talking about it now.
So, because again, I don't think he did a great job in the expansion draft.
Yeah.
And so
CJ's, I want to say the title of their last show was about Seattle.
So does Ron Francis have the leeway anymore to take a risk like that? How many years left does Grubauer have? Did you say that?
Let me look.
Here, I can look. You keep talking. I think
he's been brutal.
Yeah. But
there's just so few goalies around the league like that are even in this conversation.
Grubauer signed through next 2 seasons after this for $5.9 million.
So more money, less term. I don't think Ron Francis has the agency to make a deal like that.
I don't think the Penguins have the cap space. Like, do the Penguins have the cap space to take on a more expensive?
They could.
Yeah, I think they're 2 under. So yeah, they could. Because it's only a couple $100,000. You know.
Yeah. Honestly, what Seattle should do, Steve, is they should just buy him out.
The Penguins buying out Tristan Jarry would save them quite a bit of money too.
Would it? What does it look like?
Did you do the calculator?
Yeah, I can bring up the calculator here if you want to look at it. It's not too
realistically
bad.
You should buy out both guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, they save $3 million, $3.6 million next season, $300,000 season after, $800,000 the season after, and then they just get cap hits of like $800,000 the next 3 seasons after that.
When the cap is going to be significantly higher.
It's not bad.
That's actually good savings. I'll take it.
You know?
Yeah.
Like absolutely. It's honestly it's 2 years, the 26 and 27 season and 27-28, where you're paying $5 million and $4.5 million for nobody to play for you, but you're paying that to not have Tristan Jarry, and you can just like assume like, hey, or just pretend that he's in the minors and you're not using him at your NHL level, and just look at it that way, or whatever, however you want to twist your mind around that. But it's decent savings if you want that $3.6 million for this coming offseason. I don't want to deal with Jarry.
I don't hate that.